Hello, good afternoon. It is the Everton Daily Live. It is Wednesday, the 16th of August. There is 17 days to go. Is there 17? 16? There's a lot of days to go. 16 days of the transfer window to go. Everton. 16, yeah. Cheers.
And a half.
Cheers. Everton apparently are about to make a third bid for Wilfred Gnonto. The player desperate, according to reports, to make the move to Everton. And the Blues are about to bid for a third time. Seen David Prutton, the ex-Southampton, I think he played for Leeds as well. Now there's a lot of presenting and stuff saying he's not a wonder kid. I don't know why. Basically, he wasn't saying he's not a good player because he said he is, but he was like, he hasn't proved he can play in the Premier League. He's had one season and Leeds went down. Yeah. And he was kind of indicating like what's all the fuss about. Where is he
salty with it?
I don't know, because is he definitely a big Leeds fan? I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Maybe he is, but where are you with it? Because obviously Everton had made, if you believe reports, bids of like 16 and 18 million or something for him. We'd heard he only had a £13 million release fee, and clearly that wasn't real, was it? So where are you with it in terms of like how much would you want Everton to pay for him, or is it not a case of that for you? Is it just get him in, or should Everton be looking elsewhere now because they haven't been able to do the deal so far?
Well, whatever their valuation is, I would imagine. I can't imagine Everton's valuation is huge for him. It's not like we can go and pay a stupid price for him.
No.
If we've decided we want him, and the player wants to come to us, and he ticks the boxes, then you have to hope that they keep just trying to get him. I mean, as I said, I don't think it's a case of how far are you prepared to go. I think these transfers, there's a nuance with these transfers. It's not like they go, is 13 million? No. They go away and go, is 15 million? No. Go away, is 17 million? There's so many nuances to these deals now. How much is going to be paid up front? Over what course or over the contract is it going to be paid? The timing of the deal as well, if it's hugely important. You're going to see loads of deals get done in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
players that you've written, people that you thought, well, I thought they were going here, or thought they were going to stay where they were, or didn't think they were going to sign. There's going to be loads that go, and it's all about timing. And for Leeds, do they need this problem? Well, if they do, fine. Again, I'm not sitting here chastising them for not selling a player just because he wants to leave. They can do whatever they want with the player. But if they get to a point where they've got an unhappy player for a year and think they could sell him and also use that money to bring in players that are going to get them back into the Premier League, then that's what they'll decide. There's a lot of pride involved in this, isn't it? You've just gone down. That's bad enough, and then someone comes and takes a player, and I imagine as well, the whole. I don't know if this plays a part, but you've got the whole sort of like Everton were the one who stayed up. There's other things being said about us and all that kind of thing. So I don't want Everton to go and pay silly money for them because we haven't got silly money to give. But it's just a case, if they want them and they've identified them, then go as long as it takes. Yeah. If you think you're going to sign him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm only playing devil's advocate there. I'm just saying, what should they do? But Everton, quite clearly, he's a target that they wanted all summer. They've stayed the course. They haven't switched, lanes. And we said this on talking about Harry Kane, didn't we? Clubs only keep going back if the player wants to join you. Yeah. You don't bother otherwise. The player, says, I'm happy to come to you and I'm going to go on strike to force it through. Kind of strike, refuse to play, call it whatever you want to. I mean, I'm not in the right mental space to play because my mind's elsewhere, whatever. Then quite clearly he's trying to get out the club, isn't he? You're right, Leeds have got an evaluation. Why should they why should they drop their valuation of a player unless they're forced to? I don't think they're going to be forced to.
By the way, that works both ways. Mason Holgate and Damari Gray have been pushed out of our first team squad.
Absolutely.
Because the club wants them to leave. So it does work both ways. It's not like you can't. Clubs do that as well. We are currently doing that with two of the players. We don't want them. We want them to go. Yeah. The old Nias doesn't get a locker kind of situation. So it's making it
mushrooming them, as Sam Allardyce would say.
It is. You are putting them in the dark. So it does work both ways. Where there's no people who go, it's terrible if they play, but football clubs do this as well. Football clubs sell players when they don't want to leave. Yeah. Football clubs, when they're quite happy, when the family are happy. If the club decide they don't want you anymore, they will do everything they can to get you out the door. They'll say to their agent, go and find him a club because he ain't playing here anymore. And if he stays, he ain't playing. So it does work both ways. So listen, Everton, you're absolutely right. Everton will have had lots of encouragement when it comes to this, and you often get this thing of people will say, and maybe this is the way to do it, and the transfer requesting, and a lot of this will get sorted out. Yeah. But for whatever reason, players just don't hand transfer requests in. It
is weird. That bit is weird to me. Now it cannot just be because of bonuses and stuff, because we know that if a player gets sold without asking for a transfer, they get a cut of the thing. They earn enough money that cut can be put aside. Enough players end up doing it because they want the move. So I know, but if you really want that move, you really want to get out the football club, the football club aren't going to do it. We did it all those years ago with Wayne Rooney, didn't we? We wouldn't sell Rooney. United wanted him. Or we said we weren't going to sell him unless he put a transfer request in. The lad went in the canteen and wrote it on the serviette or something or whatever. Lots of players have done it in the end, haven't they? John Stones did it in the end. And there's been lots of versions at everyone else's club where they've had to go and do it to get out the football club. I don't know whether Leeds would accept it, but if you put a transfer request in, the club has done all it can then to keep you, and you don't want to stay, then they'll end up selling it anyway. And it does go both ways. Of course it does. Clubs, like you just said, clubs move players on when they feel like it. You might be quite happy playing for a football club, and the next minute they see a lad who's even better than you, so your place is immediately up for. Look at Ramsdale at Arsenal now. Okay, I imagine in about 4 weeks David Raya will be Arsenal's goalie, but then what does he do? Does he just happily slip into the background and be number 2 and just play whenever Arteta feels like it? Or does he go, actually, you know what, I want to be England's goalie and I need to be whatever. But what I mean is, he was there giving it all this, the Arsenal badge, and winding the opposition crowd up as I'm the number 1 goalie, and the next minute they bring another keeper in. And from nowhere, you're number 1, next minute you're number 2. And it's like, well, hang on, what's this? So clubs will do it to you as well. And also with contracts, and clubs are ruthless with kids, aren't they? They just decide they don't want you and you're gone. Yeah. So football is cutthroat, whatever. So the one pair or the one set of people who suffer it the most are the supporters, because we can't just shut our club down and go somewhere else or whatever. It's not like that for us, so we suffer more than everybody in it. It'll just be interesting to see what happens with this. But you're right, if Everton have decided he's the one he wants, and he's given them enough encouragement to say, I'm coming, I just need to get out of here, it may take him putting a transfer request in to do that. Everton will get their man in the end, if that is the case. If he's kind of given, decided he wants to join us, they'll probably get there in the end, because at some stage Daniel Farke will say, hang on a sec, I think Leeds only had 17 players on Saturday for the squad, because Luis Sinisterra has done the same as well. And that's never a good position. Leeds United should be challenging at the top of the Championship this year to get back into the Premier League, and it still might happen, but they took 1 point out of their opening 6. So, and that was a last minute equaliser, I think it was Crescencio Somerville or whatever, or someone had got a late equaliser for them at home to Cardiff. got them a draw and then he loses at the weekend. For them, that he needs to say, look, we're all in it together. Everyone's pushing in the same direction. So get Gnonto out, get Sinisterra out, and get two lads in who are going to come in and go, right, we're going to scrap and battle for these fans and make sure we're near the top end of the table. And maybe that's what will happen at some stage. But we'll have to see where that is. I mean, a lot of people are frustrated. In fact, I'll just go do some comments before we move on to the next bit. And before we carry on, congratulations to the Lionesses, England women's team. They've beaten Australia 3-1 in the World Cup semi-final. They play Spain at 11 a.m. on Sunday morning in the World Cup final. The opportunity to be world and European champions at the same time. So fantastic achievement. Absolutely. Superb. So well done to them this morning. Brilliant win. Just going through looking for Gnonto stuff. Alex EFC Gray says it's crunch time. If we want Gnonto, we'll have to move quickly, as before we know it, another team will try and get it done. For the sake of a few million, just pay it for me. Yeah, maybe that's what Everton do need to do. The worry is there. You've got to hope the player will be true to his word so you're in that position, because the worst thing Everton can do, and we've got history of this, by the way, is put all our eggs in the one basket for this person we want, and then it doesn't happen, and you end up going, oh, we're scratching around for something now, because that's happened, famously, Olivier Giroud, and we end up with nothing. Dan Juma in January, and we end up with nothing. That can't happen. That simply cannot happen. So, yeah, I'm not sure what the difference is in the evaluation, but we need to sort it. Alfie wants us to hijack the Che Adams transfer for 10 million quid. Alex says he's got a worse record than Mopai. Kuka Munger says Willie or Monty. There you go.
See what you've done there.
Yeah, I like what you've done there. Not gonna lie. You've threw it in a little bit of a cheeky one, and it's worked. I'll be honest, it worked. Everton Vikings. Let's come back to that, because it's just done what it does. Refresh and disappears. Steve Guy says Gnonto may happen, of course, but we should be moving on to other targets. Feel Spurs might be more attractive to the player. It's whether he's going to play. I think this is a big thing with him. Tottenham and Everton, there's no brainer really, isn't it? You go to Spurs and more stable, higher up the league, not going to be in any relegation battles, of course. But you're also not going to play at Spurs. They've got 3 players lined up in forward areas. So he wants to play so that he can get in the Italy side for the European Championships in the summer. He'll play at Everton. Only. Simple as that. Doesn't have to move and all of that stuff. So players do look at everything now. Everton Vikings says, as for transfer requests, the old-fashioned transfer requests don't really exist anymore now. Players now don't really get the clauses inserted into their contracts where they're giving up money. They do. I think you need to check some of that, mate. There is a loyalty bonus always in the contract. We'll see. Not saying every player's got it, but some have certainly got it, which is why they won't do it. But yeah, Georgie, it'll be before the end of the month, the 3rd kit. Yeah. Striker, a lot of people are asking for. Yeah. People wanting Beto. Quite a few shouts for Che Adams. The Kitiki, that's still apparently ongoing. See, the problem with that is, with the Kitiki is, or the Kitiki, Peter K says he's not really the profile we are looking at. It goes against what you think Everton are looking for. If Everton are looking for a big striker that's going to knock people about a little bit, then Beto fits that mould more. Iniacho and Daka don't fit that mould, but Iniacho's a really good finisher, and Patson Daka's fast. So if Everton are going to play counter-attacking football, which is kind of what we did at the weekend, then Patson Daka makes sense. but he isn't a back to goal, hold it up. He's quick. And you slide it through, he's in it. And if Everton break a pace with, imagine they got Gnonto and Daka, and then you've got whoever on Harrison, McNeil, whoever on the Danjuma, you're talking pure pace and catching teams out then on the break. So it depends what they're looking for.
It depends what they're looking for. I think whoever it is has got to be physically and capable and have that little bit of pace. Because if you are bringing in forward players with that little bit, wide players with that bit of pace, you need centre forward who can keep up with them.
Yeah.
But also for what we saw on Saturday, that little bit of pace to progress into the box, and give them that little bit of extra, those crucial seconds in the box, which is what all you're talking about, aren't you? When you're talking about putting the ball in the back of the net in the Premier League. Having that pace and having just a little bit of composure. If you find players who've got both, you're doing well. But we need. That's where we need to be looking. If we, it is great talking about someone like Gnonto, but if we don't bring in another centre forward who is the middle one between Dom and Chimiti, and then it's we're exactly where we were.
Yeah.
Again, we'll have creativity, but we won't have someone to put the ball in the back of that in those crucial moments like we saw on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be Jay and Zagan saying smash the like button. We often say it. Gently press it. That's fine. Don't have to smash it.
I seen a video last night and the guy was saying, just if you've got nothing to say, just put an emoji in the comments because it all helps.
Okay. I mean, that's good as well. Yeah. That's fair.
Put an emoji in the comments of how you're feeling about Everton's transfer business. How about that, eh? How about that, eh?
Absolutely. Lucas says get Gnonto in, Kitiki in and Holgate out. Well, I think that's what they're trying to do, aren't they?
All about.
I think they're trying to do. I think that Leeds were in that. See, this is what's interesting. Even though I think that Mason Holgate will join Southampton, that seems to be where it's heading now. Apparently Leeds did have an interest, and that'd make sense. A Yorkshire lad, isn't he? And I think he'd do well. It's a big club, so it's not like he's going somewhere else, but that isn't as big or whatever. But again, it's whether Leeds have any appetite for him really to be able to do that deal, isn't it? And Holgate might be so far down the line with Southampton, there's just finer details to sort out. But that he's going to go. The same way Andre Gomez is going to go. The same way that Gabaman's going to either go or be released from his contract. And Damari Gray's going to go. It's just waiting for those finer details to be done, isn't it? But there's still a lot of business to be done in this market.
Of course there is.
Isn't
There's
it?
loads. I mean, you've seen today, Tom Davies has gone to Sheffield United.
Good luck to Tom.
Player who's been obviously training on his own all summer, but just waiting for that moment. And you're going to get more of them in the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Not Sparkley last week was Luton, wasn't it?
God, all the players coming to avenge us.
Coming back to get us. Yeah, it is. It's gonna go on, and we're seeing.
I'm loving the emojis.
That's good. Well, we're seeing things like obviously Harry Maguire's moved, even though it had Everton get massive boost as Maguire transfer collapses. Like, what?
Well, I'm not being funny.
He wants to stay at Old.
Well, the reason why Maguire didn't go to West Ham, I mean, that ain't gonna. It's the same reason why he ain't ever coming to Everton, because of the amount of money he wanted from Manchester United.
He's all. I mean, and they're gonna say this, aren't they? But there's people come out and were like, "Yeah, no disrespect to West Ham, but he never wanted to go there anyway." Like, okay,
who does? But people do have to.
No, but that's it, isn't it? If you're at Manchester United, I'm not sure he sat there going, "I hope Everton come in for me." Is he? You know what I mean? So,
well, he wouldn't have to move.
At the end of the day, yeah, maybe if it got to deadline day, and he was like, "Well, you know what? I'd rather go on loan," and Everton were interested. And Man United said just pay half of his wages or whatever it was. Maybe there be an outside chance of him coming to Everton on deadline. But I think he'll just stay at United. There'll be enough games for him to be involved in. It's up to him.
Manager doesn't want him, though.
He doesn't really want him, does he?
We'll talk about this at 2 o'clock over on the transfer show.
We will,
On a game channel.
Yeah, let's move on. Well, it's just because there was an Everton link with him, isn't it? Tom Cannon looks like he's moving to Preston. Sunderland inquired about taking him permanently, but no.
Yeah, it's been
No, going to Preston.
Yeah, he's wanted to go to Preston, doesn't he? Yeah. That's where he wanted. The manager really likes him, and obviously looked after him last season. So why wouldn't you want to go back there?
That's it, isn't he? Settled, knows him. Manager to work with him. Manager was on Sky Sports News doing the games last night. It was quite funny, Ryan Love. Why doesn't he just lash it away? Thought, yeah, fair play, lad. Fair play. It was good. Just going through some of them. Richard Bond caressed the like button. It's right, Rich. It's right. A lot of emojis, some crying faces, people not happy with how it's going. Kevin Murphy with it, yeah. Not happy. Zach says Holgate should be used in a deal for Sulemana. Well, Monaco bid yesterday for Sulemana. 21 million. So we'll see. Sambo says punch the like button in the face. Just tap it.
I think that's a bit harsh on the like button.
The like button's just like that.
I don't know what the like button's ever done to you.
Just sat there going, go ahead. Go ahead. Just tap me. Fred Poole says, morning boys. Pip, Gary both say hello and howdy. Sonny, I mean, this has nothing to do with Everton or transfers or football, but I'll just say it anyway. Says, afternoon lads, currently replaying through the Arkham trilogy, trying to keep my mind off the shambles that is our transfer window. So there you go. Sonny's just, what Sonny's doing there is distracting himself, which is fine.
I think that's just a brilliant thing to do.
I want to know, where's thingy? Toffee Chaz. How did he get on in his trial for Salford? Was he alright? Did he do alright? Let us know if you're watching.
Playing the easiest position on the pitch, he should have done fine.
James Wallen says, fantastic interview with Paul on More Than a Game. Yeah, that'll be out tonight. Paul Machin on More Than a Game. On Inside the Game. The next episode. Watch it. It's worth a watch. Good. Be out at 6:30 tonight. Check it out. Georgie Redden says Tom Cannon leaving on a permanent. He's not. Going on loan to Preston. Sunderland tried to buy him and Everton and him rejected it. So it's going on loan. Adam says, do you think taking the officials from the United Wolves game off the fixtures for this week coming is the correct decision? I'm not sure how much further you can go with it other than releasing the dialogue between the referees. We've seen some horrendous decisions go against us, but that one on Monday night is the worst I've seen in a long time. Well, I mean, where do you
have they been stood down?
Yeah.
Oh, have they? Yeah. Well, that's brilliant. I mean, they should. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, it's
a public embarrassment that they've been stood down.
Yeah, and
rightly so.
I'd stand them down for a few weeks. That was horrendous. That was horrendous. That was an assault.
Terrible.
Yeah, an absolute assault. And again, this thing of like, yeah, we want the refs on the pitch to have the power. Well, no. The fella, I've said this on day one. The fella upstairs should be able to shout in his ear and go, "Hey, go and have a look at that. That's a joke. You go and look at that."
Like he did on Saturday.
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, sorry, like he didn't on Saturday for our game when he should have done.
It should be. Go and have a look at that. I'm sorry, but you need to go and look at that. And if he goes, and then that, I've said this from day one. If VAR says, I think you need to go and look at that, then the referee has the power to go over and change his decision.
Yeah.
And that's all. They've complicated VAR beyond all. We want the on-field ref to have the final decision. We'll give him the final decision every time. Just get the fella upstairs to go and have a look at that. Just go and check the screen.
Yeah.
All this thing of like when you go over to the screen, it's like you already know what their mind's made up. It's like no, just be a fella upstairs. You go and have a look at that. And that's all you need to do. And if he'd gone over and seen that again, I'm pretty sure he would have given a penalty. It was shocking, absolutely shocking.
At least if they go over and have a look at it, then they can be they can say, no, I made the right decision at the time. Or, oh, I got it wrong. There's no problem with going, I got it wrong. Didn't see it from that angle. I thought there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way it happens. Yeah. Mistakes are made. They're only human, and the game's quick, and there might be someone in the way and you're trying to see past them. Go and give yourself that moment to look and go, didn't see that yet. It's a penalty or it's not, whatever, but not even going over and looking
at it.
An apology
isn't worth a carrot.
It means nothing. Sam Wynn says Luca Dean off to Saudi.
Believe so.
Same as someone else has gone as well. Oh, Laporte.
Oh, I thought we were going to get him.
No, he's gone to Saudi. Daniel Cleary says get the like button in a headlock.
The head?
Get the like button in a headlock.
No, let's leave the headlock. So why just not like the like button?
No.
All you got to do is just tap it gently. That's our friend, the like button.
It is. He's a great little fella or a great woman, whatever.
Whatever it wants to be.
Barry P says, why does Mathew from the Daily Mail hate us so much? He absolutely despises
Someone bullied him as a kid and that person was an Evertonian.
Yeah. It can be the only reason.
This is it.
He's been after Everton for years, like 4 years or so. Maybe it's, maybe he doesn't like Usmanov.
Maybe he's like J. Jonah Jameson with Spider-Man. We're his Spider-Man. Maybe that's what it is.
He just doesn't, whatever. Wormy says West Ham were going to pay 120 grand a week. United agreed to pay the difference, but Maguire spat his dummy out. Or maybe he just didn't want to go. Players look and go, nah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Nick says Maguire going to Saudi soon.
Nah, I can't see Maguire going to Saudi Arabia. I just can't see that.
He'd offer him big money though, wouldn't he?
Would he?
But they offer everyone else big money, so... Mark Sims says, where does Gnonto fit in with McNeil, Danjuma and Harrison all available? Is this just another predominantly left winger being shoehorned on the right? Well, Jack Harrison's played practically the same on both sides. So, and scored and had the same kind of success on both sides. So, I imagine Harrison's left-footed, but he'd be a left-footed right winger. It'll be options, won't it? The manager will say, yeah, that'd be great for us. So have McNeil, Gnonto, Danjuma and Harrison who can play in the wide areas. Brilliant. I've actually now got options to start and I've got 2 changes from the bench, like every other team has. We do this thing sometimes as Evertonians that we go, oh, that's too many players and he won't play, so we can't have them. We know we need more goals. We know we need more options. Can he keep 4 of them happy? That's on him, isn't it? That's up to him. And that's up to them players to force their way into the team. Damari Gray will go. I'm not convinced Alex Iwobi will stay before the window shuts. 10 months left on a contract. I think people will test that near the end of the window. Or the manager might look and go, right, Iwobi's going to be playing where the Corey play. Or it's the Corey and Iwobi for that number 10 role, sort of. Or the 8 advanced attacking 8. It's the Corey or Iwobi. And one of them's going to go in there and do that. Because now I've got competition all over the pitch. The only way we get better is by having that competition all over the pitch. So, Zagan says, tickle the like button, stroke the bell, throw in an emoji and smile. I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it is all about. Mr. Perfecta Kelly says, if you could sign a number 2 keeper, who would you guys choose?
I'm be honest.
All right, with Joe.
I'm quite happy with Joe Virginia. Lads have plenty of experience. I just don't really see why we need another one. When Jordan Pickford plays a hell of a lot of games, if not all the games. So, stage on that. Yeah, there's a bit of a mad one. I'm Brian, and so's my wife. Says, if we're letting Cannon go out, we must be close to bringing another striker in. That does. I mean, you're almost making sense there, aren't you? Or does it just mean that Dominic Calvert-Lewin's fit? But they are definitely speaking to a couple of strikers, so maybe something's edged a bit closer and they've gone, right, yeah, we can okay that now because we're confident he's coming in. Who knows? Good times.
Who knows? David Buffon, not David Buffon. Says it, very average refereeing, bar stands for. Very awful refereeing, I'd go. That's what I'd say.
Very something else.
That's what I'd say. Oliver says, any news on Bull idea? No, that went very quiet, didn't it? It went very quiet.
I'm gutted on that one though, because I think we've already got the song sorted for him. So a bit this.
What was it again?
For him, it's Bull idea, dear.
Okay.
I don't think.
Bull idea, like I could do. Fair enough.
I think it'd be a winner.
All right, fair enough. Could we not apply to? No, we
What, Ned? You don't write your own songs. I do. That's the difference. That's the difference between me and you.
Spanish reporter Lincoln Onana to Mordor.
Yeah,
says here Belfast Toffee. Saw that before. It's nonsense. Although to be fair, they've been after everyone else. I said to the Redmen lads last week that he'd probably be good for Liverpool, but you'd have to Klopp would have to get him, and you've got to develop him a little bit. But I don't think Everton would sell him to Liverpool anyway.
The place would be burnt down.
Yeah, we just couldn't. Even if we were like, you know what, they're offering 15 million more than anyone else, it just couldn't happen. There's some discussion over Evan Ferguson and whether he comes to Everton. He's not coming to Everton. And Brighton, he's gonna be worth a hell of a lot of money to Brighton. Yes, he really is. Movie Whitman always loves to hear Baz having a go. I hate them, mate. I hate them. And you know what? It's the problem I've got with it is the arrogance of them when they're so bad. If they were like hardly ever made a mistake, I'd go, yeah, you know, get on with it. But they're so bad. I'm not even just talking about Everton's game. You know, they're terrible for us. We get nothing off them. And that divvy on Saturday, well, it's awful. He's awful. But when you see, like, I've got no skin in the game for Man United Wolves. If anything, to be fair, I wanted United to win because Wolves, in my opinion, are going to be like battling with us. But that's a terrible decision for Wolves. It was a penalty. The goalie hasn't played the ball, has he? He's chucked the lad out. And you know that, it's bugging me. You know that at the other end, it'd have been a penalty for United straight away. And that's what sticks in your throat. Like I said, I'm a Wolves fan. But you see decisions like that and you just think, that is awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. And when you have got... You see, referees used to be able to hide behind, I just didn't see it. Oh, got it wrong, sorry. Or made a mistake. Or someone was in my way. Right? Still awful. And still pathetic. But when there's a actual thing, tool there for you to make sure you don't get stuff wrong... Twice. How can you not go over and go, let me look? It's a penalty. I never seen it. And you know what? I have more respect for referees when they go over and they go like that. Like, you know, I got it wrong. Yeah. I have way more respect for them. To go, like the other night, although someone did tell me I was wrong. Someone did say, you're joking. When the Burnley lad dive through the air and took Carl Walker out.
My nephew was telling me that it was a nothing tackle. I mean, are you mental? I said, I'm supposed to be the old fella who goes, oh, you know, that's a good tackle. That I was like, are you messing? It was horrific.
Absolutely. It was a joke. Horrific. He didn't. You know, oh, come on. He was just trying to. Could have wrecked his Achilles or done his ligaments in. Most people were like, oh, it was a red, and this lad was like, no, you know, if that's a red, then we may as well all go home.
Go home then.
Go home, mate.
You don't know the rules.
Yeah, he jumped through the air. Right. So the referee didn't give it, did he? And give it a free, and he went and looked at it, and he come back and went, no, it is a red, and got it. And you know what? I go, Sam, mate, you've had a look, and you've gone, I've made a mistake. But it must be such a difficult game. To referee. It's so fast, and there's lots of things going on, and you've got the crowd. It's a difficult job. I'm not saying it isn't a difficult job, but when you've got a tool that you do not use to help you come to the right decision, I think it's pathetic. I think it's incompetent, and it borders on cheating. Because what you're saying is, I don't want to look whether I've got that wrong. Yeah. I'm happy with what I've just give. Like Everton's game at the weekend, Stuart Atwell blew the whistle as the ball was rolling into an empty net where no one could do anything about it. It was a goal. If he doesn't blow the whistle and we celebrate, and then the VAR goes, go and have a look at that, and he goes over and goes, that's a foul. Blows his whistle, goes like that and goes, no goal, it's a foul. We could argue and go, what? But he didn't even do it, and that's where I'm fuming.
Yeah.
Whether it was ruled out or not, I'm fuming because he didn't go over and look at it. And if he looks at it and does say, yeah, it's a foul, I got that wrong, whatever you go, we can all discuss whether we think it is, but when you don't use the thing, and that was what I'm saying about Onana for the Wolves one, if he didn't go over and just check it and go, that's a foul, that's a penalty, I got it wrong.
No, it's horrendous. It's the way it is. Large part of it isn't just the referees, though. A large part of it is how they come to decisions. Like, so that one, they were saying that I think if he'd give it, VAR wouldn't have overturned it. I think there was one last year, was it Brighton at Spurs, and there was one very similar when he scored and he said it was handball. Yeah. And he said, but if it had gone to VAR, the VAR wouldn't if he'd give it, the VAR wouldn't have overturned it. Yeah. And that's the problem. There's not enough like flexibility. They've got these dead like stringent rules on like when they can go to the VAR, when they can. And what I don't understand is why isn't the VAR just in the ear going, check that, mate. Just check that. Not like, oh, I don't need it. It should be like, you should just check that. He's and that's it. It's just a guy in your ear going, yeah, I think that was a foul. If you want to go and check it, just go and check it for yourself.
No, it is crazy, mate. For me, it was crazy, and we saw it last year, didn't we? We had a few last year. You know, Damari Gray at Leeds. Oh yeah, you know, the linesman wouldn't have put his flag up. It'd have been a goal, but because he's put his flag up, and there's a millimetre in it, we're going to go with the on-field decision. Yeah. What? Yeah. So if he wouldn't have put his flag up, we won the game. But because he put his flag up, you're not now going to say it was onside. So they tinkered with the rule. That, to me, that's absolutely bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. But yeah. Scott says 100% agree. Baz does my head in as well. That refs just back each other no matter what the decision. They never call each other out for bad calls. That damn it on ref watch is the way. Exactly, Scott. You know, if they went, like, you know, me and Ped and I go, Ped got that wrong there. You know, you've made a mistake there, but if you just looked at that, that's fine. Why can't he say, oh yeah, he got it wrong? Doesn't mean what they're not saying is he's terrible, him as a referee. They just got a decision in the heat of the moment wrong, but you've got VAR to go and look at it, or you've got a screen to go and correct it. I just think it's bizarre.
I think as well, seeing Howard Webb talking on Football Focus on Saturday, and he was like, Chapper said something like, why can't you come out and say it? And it's like, well, FIFA won't allow us during the games to be mic'd up. It's like, well, why aren't you talking straight away after the game then and explaining yourself?
But how come some countries are mic'd up?
They're mic'd up, but they don't do it. They don't do it live. Apparently, it's like all afterwards. But we've seen in the World Cup, the Women's World Cup, that they're explaining the VAR decisions after they've done them. But like, why not? Why not then within the week release the audio and let's hear what got said between the referee and the VAR?
He said he can do that because there's been a headline yesterday, him saying, we've got the power to release it.
And they should be pushing, the TV company should be pushing for it because they've got the power.
If there's no cheating going on, then why wouldn't you release it? G-Mac says, Baz, if Wolves play like that, they'll have a great season. They don't score goals, mate. It's that simple. They've been the lowest scorers for 3 seasons or 2 seasons. They don't score goals, hence they lost the other night. They won't play like that all the time. But they don't score goals, it doesn't matter. If Everton play like they did on Saturday, Everton will be battling for top 10 because they'll create that many chances that they'll start scoring goals. There's a huge if there, isn't it? The same with Wolves, the same with some other teams. There's huge ifs. If Burnley play like they did in the Championship, they might do all right, but they won't because it's the Premier League and it's a different league. It's all different. If Liverpool play like they did on Saturday, they won't get in Europe, let alone the top 4. On Sunday, they won't get in Europe, let alone the top 4. But Liverpool won't, will they? Liverpool will get better. So I take no notice of these opening 4 to 6 weeks. We'll see what it's like when it all settles down. Fulham play like they did on Saturday, they'll be battling to stay in the league. Will Marco Silva make them better? Yeah. So we'll see. But Wolves were very good on Monday night. Very good. Newcastle play like they did on Sunday. Newcastle will be going for the title. Will that carry on through the season? Don't know. Were Villa just bad on the day? Who knows? So you never ever, well, I don't anyway. Everyone does their own thing, but I never look at early on in the season and take no notice of it, because some teams look like, God, these are going to be amazing, and then 3 weeks later, they hit the wall and off they go the other way. So we'll see. We'll see. But Wolves' big issue, the same as it was last season and the same as it was the season before, they don't score goals. They're the lowest scorers 2 seasons ago, I think. I think they had 31 in 38 or 30, and last season they had less goals than Everton, who were all having a go at Everton, rightly so, because we can't score goals, and Wolves scored less than us. So unless they get a centre forward, and Kaladic or whatever has got to score an incredible amount of goals to be able to save them, they're going to need another striker. They might get one in. They get another couple in who have got goals in, and then of course it changes. Wolves have been a nice football team for a few years.
Yeah.
They just haven't had any, since that first couple of seasons under Nuno, the goals dried up. When Raul Jimenez got that terrible injury, his goals dried up. When they lost Jota to Liverpool and he went, the goals went out the team. They haven't really been able to replace them goals. If they get a striker who can put it in the net, and they get another wide player who scores goals, they might have a very good, you just don't know. You don't know, but that's the same with Everton. If Everton get, I've just done the numbers game on Premier with Patrick this morning, going through all the data. Everton, like one of the most creative sides at the weekend. If they carry that on, Everton will finish in the top 10. Can Everton carry that on? Will they be as prolific against other teams? Probably not. But if you're just looking as a data mining from one game, Everton very, very prolific at the weekend. Neil Maupay had a bigger XG on his own than 8 clubs in the Premier League on Saturday. So it's whether all that follows through. But you're right, they've got some good players, Wolves, but they've had good players for years. It's the goals, isn't it? It's the big thing, isn't it? It's why they all cost so much money. It's why you should take a chance on some other players who are putting the ball in the net in other countries, shouldn't you? Ian Bennett says should be able to appeal to decisions again. You can't leave it to these muppets. Absolutely. I was saying this before it even come in. You should have challenges the way they do in tennis, the way they do in other sports. Is it rugby union got them as well, I think, or something?
Yeah.
I might be wrong there. But tennis, I know for a fact, obviously, tennis definitely has. It's, for me, that's what it should be. You should be able to challenge it. No, the Blues, I meant Damari Gray was onside, which is what the VAR said. He was onside. But because the linesman put the flag up, they didn't overrule it. They went with the on-field decision. So I don't know how that works. How does that work? It's the other thing. I was having this conversation with Zach the other day. He was like, is that AI thing in now for offside? And I was like, the Premier League didn't want it. And he was like, why? The Champions League have got it. And I was like, well, because I said, I don't know, but it just sounds like they don't want something to get you the right decision all the time. Ask yourself why they don't want that. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I would add the same way we've got goal line technology. I would have that for offsides. Then it beeps up your offside. Well, you can't argue. It's
and also it takes something,
takes pressure
off the
away.
referee, a job away from the referee.
Yeah. So interesting. Daniel says Van Dijk on Onana, they defended it. Then you see red cards for identical tackles. Yeah. Joe Mack says iPad boss them little wood clocks. He just got mine in a post. Yeah,
it's metal. What? It's metal. No, I'm saying it's metal.
Oh, okay.
It's not wood.
He didn't say it was wood.
You just said wood.
Joe Mack, iPad boss them little wood clocks.
Oh, little wood clocks. I think you missed it.
Yeah, I've got it now. I missed it, and then I got it when you said it. When I said it again, I got it. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of.
Does it work?
A lot of people.
Why would you buy a clock?
You can see it's got that. It's literally. It was a different time when we started. It was 1. Now it's 1:45. A lot of people are going on about the challenges, saying
Fair play.
Yeah. Richard says Cunha, look quality. Yeah, had a great game, didn't he, Matheus Cunha? Thing with Matheus Cunha, and Everton, don't forget Everton wanted him, but then they come back and went 40 million. Everton went,
See ya.
dial tone. The thing with him is he doesn't score goals. He's a very, very good player, but he's a 6 or 7 goal season player. Can he get more? That's the big one, isn't it? That is the big one. The Blues says Everton and Wolves are twins right now. Absolutely. Absolutely. Neither can put the ball. Sconhead says Gnonto is overpriced. Simple as. Yeah, but that was one of the things, isn't it? And they've said right at the start, David Prutton, whether you take any notice of him or whatever, was saying he's potentially a good player, but he's not some wonder kid who's gonna, turn your team around. So I think he was kind of saying like there's why the fuss over him kind of thing.
Well, he's just a player we want.
That's
why is there a fuss over any player?
Don't know.
And is there a fuss over him? We want to buy him.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. Maybe he is. Maybe he's a Leeds fan, and it is a bit of like nobody might be, and it might be a bit salty, mightn't it? Maybe I don't know. I don't actually know.
Strange.
Yeah, Joe Mack. I did see that from Rio Ferdinand. It was the laziest thing he's probably ever said. About if they got Onana, it'd just be like signing Fellaini because he's big in Belgium. Bit weird. Oliver Chapman says, thanks for the content. I hear Tom Davis is signing for Sheffield United. I wish him well, except when we play them, obviously. Absolutely. He can score an own goal or get sent off when we play them, just to give us a helping hand. We might need it. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. Thank you very much. We are going over in about 5 minutes. No, we're stopping this in about 5 minutes. At 2 o'clock, we'll be on More Than a Game channel, so stay where you're at. Ned promises to put the teleportation link in today that he forgot to do yesterday. Yeah. He will do it today. Steve P says, if we can't get Gnonto, I'd be going after Bakayoko from PSV, already in the Belgium squad. He's a right winger. Burnley are being linked to him. Hang on, Steve. I put him in my alternate signings, and you said, no way we could get him, no Baz. And I said, well, he's in Holland, and now you're coming round to my way of thinking, just because Burnley are interested. Is that how it is, Steve? No, he is. He's good, isn't he? He's good, and he is for me, he's a good alternate. Again, what I imagine Everton would say is he hasn't played in the Premier League, though. Don't know. Glenn says, Baz loved the interview with Paul from the Dead Men TV. Hey, what is it about our psychology where if we get 99 likes, we concentrate on the one dislike? Yeah. Keep up the work. More biscuits and curly whirlies in the post. That's right, Glenn. Top man, curly whirlies, underrated. 99 calories, underrated.
You know, if you don't eat one,
it's no calories. It's a great way of looking at it. And you're right. Yes, it's absolutely science. Jez says, afternoon, gents. Great to see the England women get to the final. Real team spirit and effort. Anyway, just thought I'd say that I once knew only 3 board members when it would... Hang on.
What now?
I'd say that I knew, once only 3 board members would play out like this. Anyone thought differently hasn't been paying attention. Absolutely nailed on. I am now holding out the hope that we'll get a full buyout because Mashiri clings to Bill and his bodyguard of incompetence. I see little progress. I'm not so bothered about Deitch because, as I see, we got the manager they deserve. All we can do is back him. He's the symptom of a whole shit show of slow, layered, meandering decision making by non-experts. Right now, I hope we get in a seasoned striker, but it's a hope rather than a reality. Well, at the moment, haven't we got 5 board members, allegedly?
Have we?
We've got Colin Cheong. We've got John Spellman. We've got Farhad Mashiri, Bill Kennight, and the finance fella, haven't we?
No, yeah.
Whether you put any stock in that, numerically, yes, we have got 5, but yeah, I think everybody now wants MSP or whatever to come in and take over, really. But certainly come in and put some people on the board, some new blood, some fresh ideas. Martin can't believe we haven't signed a centre forward. The key area for 2 years, nothing has been secured. Surely the budget should have been worked around this position. We can't be writing off another game without anybody with the ability to score on a team. As you guys say, it's like blending in the previous 2 seasons. Good times. Yeah. Mark says, I've gone off the idea of Gnonto just because the way he's handled the leaving of Leeds and refusing to train. Okay.
Fair play.
Daniel says, think Schmidt will be available for the weekend and will he get many chances? Glad to hear Cannon is going on loan again. Personally, disappointed if he didn't get 10 or 15 minutes against Fulham when we needed a goal. Yeah, should just last them on. Toffee Charlie's in the comments. All right, lads, did really well in my trial and been offered a 1-year contract at the club, which will take me into the next year when they decide if they can give me a scholarship. Absolutely buzzing.
Brilliant.
Have my signing day soon, so I'll get all the photos and that then. Brilliant.
How old is he, by the way?
Maybe he's only like...
He's like 6.
Not even be like 16, might be 15. 15, 16. Well in, mate.
Well done, mate.
Well done. Enjoy it now. Enjoy it. Work hard. You've done the first bit. Enjoy the boat. Enjoy the boat. Yeah, Everton Viking. I knew you meant that. Some still do have it. Steve says Beto has had some bad injuries, though surely that's a worry when paying that amount of money for a striker. He's had thigh injuries, hasn't he, which isn't great. We should have gone after Matteo Retegui, signed for Genoa with €15 million. A lot of goals, 30 in 48 games in Argentina. Must have money to spend as we've used up our loan spots. We haven't though, have we? Still got two international. No, we've got 1 international loan spot left, haven't we? And one domestic, haven't we? Who's on loan? Harrison's on loan. Mm-hmm. So we've still got 1 domestic loan and Danjuma's on loan. So yeah, so we've got 1 European loan.
I thought you could have more. I thought that was wrong though. I thought the European.
I'll find out in a minute. I thought it was 4 2 international.
Sure.
But I'll find out in a minute.
I'm sure people have been getting the international one wrong, you know.
Maybe. I might have it wrong. I've just heard that. Like I'll find out right
87.
now. I'll find out right. I don't think you can have 87. It'd be the dream to get Rom back on loan. Of course it would. Lawson just says, caress the like button and whisper in its ear. Gavin loves the little wood clock. We can't get rid of the red heart on YouTube, Benjamin. No, we can't. That's nothing to do with us, mate.
Above our pay grade.
Yeah.
Think of it more as just like that with your eye. I'm thinking more of like a salmon pink.
Maybe, yeah.
Rub your eye a little bit. I know you get those little spots on your eyes when you rub them sometimes. Look at it then.
Do it like that. Simon says, aye lads, there will never be transparency of VAR. That would show how corrupt it is. Well, the more they do it like this, the more people are starting to go, hang on, what's happened? Something I've said for years. You push something, yeah, anyway. Terry says, we all thought a striker must be 1 foot in the door when we let Rondon go. Tom Cannon leaving wouldn't indicate anything. Yeah, there is that. Right, make sure you like it, subscribe to the channel, stay where you are.
Hey, you.
2 o'clock, we're discussing everything else in the world of football transfer-wise on More Than a Game. You don't have to go anywhere. Just stay where you are right now. Ned's putting the teleportation magic into it as if he's some kind of David Blaine type character. Not John Blaine, David Blaine. And we'll see it over there.
What if he is like David Blaine, John Blaine? What if they're secretly related and we just didn't know all this time?
He does say like it's Shazam. He does do that Shazam with his hand, so maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. So take it easy. Stay where you are. See you in a minute.